Hello, Timothy. Welcome to the Builder's Mind podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jahid. Excited to be here.
Great to have you here. Actually, just like an hour ago, I tried natively and I tried to build that health tracker app for of course, for mobile phone, and it was quite fast. And of course, I didn't know kind of like what's happening in the background because I'm not like developer, but it was super fast. And then I faced an issue where I couldn't see the app. So I just like contacted the support team and they were super fast. And actually they told me just like reload the page and then it works and the magic worked. And then I was like, okay, wow. Sometimes just like reloading is the main thing. And actually I wanted to deploy the app and then I saw that I just like need to connect with my um, Apple ID or kind of like Android. And like the whole process was just, 10 minutes. I wanted to kind of put 1 hour, but it was super fast. And actually, it was so tempting that I should just, go find my Apple API and just like connect with Apple and then kind of launch it. So that's kind of was super impressive. That's why I would love to just jump right away to if you would pitch like natively to our audience what natively is, and who are the main target audience for using natively?
100%. Yeah, so that's super great to hear. And what natively really is and started out as for us is it's the text to mobile app business. That's how I would phrase it. We saw a lot of tools out there that help you like start as a non-technical user building. But we think there is so much missing, like from that context, that people like maybe aren't really thinking about today, which is sure, like let's say you build a product, but then you actually need to reach customers with that product also. Like what can we do on that end to make sure users are getting the best user experience and actually be able to build like start their entrepreneurial journey. Um, so that was why like one of the earliest features we said was like, okay, well, uh, great. You should be able to build, but we need to be able to bring it to the App Store. If we cannot do that, then there is no point in building this tool at all. So we launched the deployment flow to test flight, and it turns out it's not exactly only just like logging in and like getting it out there. Unfortunately, I mean it's you also need to go through like Apple's own internal approval process, which we have some plans on how to help out with that too, but it's not there today. And then further on, it's about providing user analytics and so on, about people using the app, helping out with how you can market the app, automating that whole process just to speed up building.
Right. So like that means that like you're focusing a lot on the distribution side, more than just like the building part. Because from other kind of no code builders like Lovable or kind of like Corsair, they're more kind of building, but they don't touch the distribution part a lot or at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I mean, like exactly. I would say today we still have a ton of work to do, right? So backstory is we started writing the first line of code in last week of January. So I'm super proud of the team and how far we come in that short time span. But what we are doing on that front is that we want to teach people how to go viral with their apps also, and that is kind of like the next step for us to tackle. How to generate content related to your app and just like providing documentation on how you should go about it and what are good marketing practices. And what's kind of interesting there is like obviously we are building at the same time, so we get to share like our inside experience on how to build a viral app. Meanwhile, we're helping you build a viral app, which is it's really fun symbiosis.
Are you pushing for more like non-technical people to use the tool, or it's kind of for both technical and non-technical people to use it?
Yeah, 100%. I think like if we succeed with our mission, then everyone like either the term engineer will die, or everyone will go around and call themselves an engineer. Then I know we have really succeeded, because it shouldn't be like, oh, I have to be trained to be able to build something in this modern age where it should be the focus should be on what you want to build, not necessarily how to build.
Just kind of out of curiosity, like when you're thinking of a startup, especially in the age of AI, where like you have to really be creative, but also you have to really think out of the box with kind of very new solutions and also somehow like impossible ones which are possible if you try a lot and if you kind of like navigate it hard. But it's still, are there some impossible things in building products still, which are kind of still impossible because of the technology or because of some other like constraints? For example, let's say that like what are the impossible things still with the app development?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's hurdles to everything. I wouldn't say there's anything that's impossible, but there's things that are harder than they should be today. For example, going to the App Store. We'll have to hope that Apple realizes that there's this new wave of so many more apps coming, and that we find a scalable solution together with them to like help people get to the App Store, but also not compromise on the quality that's reminiscent of the Apple ecosystem. If we just look at the vibe coding space in general, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. There's people talk about like, okay, can I take my app directly to production? I'm being completely honest there. Then I would say, if you're building something from scratch, absolutely. I think you have nothing to lose by just going straight to production. If you didn't have anything before, then the world is just better off. But if you're like working inside a company and there's already a product related to it, and you try to squeeze in like a completely vibe code product into that, then I think you will get a lot of questions if there's like a security concern that's inside it or so forth. And that's where you need to bring in engineers today. You just have a manual verification on like, okay, it actually does what it's supposed to do. I think that's a tricky balance to find today with AI, and it's a lot more controversial than it really should be. Like if you think about like on the engineering perspective, people say like, okay, who are you responsible now if you put a vibe coded app out there? And that's always been the case, right? Even if you hired some engineer and it turned out he didn't really know what he was doing, he was always responsible for pushing that code. Also, I see like vibe coding is just a developer tool, and it's an extension of at the end of the day, the person pushing something is responsible for what they're pushing.
Yeah, but also kind of the person is responsible of the creative side, because kind of like natively can give you a really nice front end, but still, if you really might like make it unique, then you have to put like your insights as well, like how do you see it? And that's kind of like something that I noticed, that vibe coding maybe made some people lazy, if I allowed to say that myself, because they feel that, okay, let natively take care of everything, and then I just make money out of it. But it's still, there's a lot of things actually be taken care of, like by the people who are behind the computers, and then just like vibe coding things, which yeah, kind of there's still a lot for that to do on their side.
100%. On that point, I would like to say, like, should we have to care about everything that's going on under the hood? I would say probably not. Like, I don't think we should have to care about all the small nitty gritty details. We should work with layers of abstraction. It should be like, okay, I want this, and then if you want it very perfectly, maybe you have to care a bit. But ideally, those layers of abstraction just become better and better, where you don't think about how a computer is running today, or like what's going on under the hood. We're just sitting there here in this podcast, and things just work. I think that is where we're gonna go when it comes to AI and like the next generation of software too. It
Yes.
didn't start out that way. I mean, like computers were super slow and like you couldn't run certain programs, but the development we've seen in the last 50 plus years, it's been absolute crazy.
Yeah. So I think it will be perfect to build something with natively, so that we can show the power of natively, but also let the audience know how they can build things.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think there's so many cool things to build. It's always like a decision problem about what you want, and this is something we've been thinking hard about. Like, okay, how can we help users actually like come up with new ideas? Whether it's realizing something that's already inside their current day lifestyle that they could be making more efficient, or whether it's like building something completely new that is not necessarily like a everyday problem they struggle with, but like it could be a gym having a personalized app and going out there and just like building it for them, like saying, okay, I really wish you would have had this, but it's not possible today because like historically building an app has been super expensive. Cool. Should we jump
Yep.
into a demo now?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Cool.
Wow.
So I guess if you go to natively.dev, this is how you're instantly met. And nice. One of the most common requests, actually, now I already floated it a bit, is building related to gyms. And I thought maybe we should take one of the most common requests there. So I can build a gym related app, or I can build a restaurant style app. What do you think we should go for?
I think we should go for the gym, so it's like healthy one, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe I run a gym and I have people who come and go to the gym, and they have different workouts they want to do. They want to track like how many reps they're doing, how many sets, what the progression is. So let's try to encapsulate that into a prompt. I'll show you the complete steps of how to continue building that with Natively. So I'll just start out by saying, build me a app for tracking my gym sessions. I usually do push-ups, barbell exercises, and running. I want to be able to track this historically, if I can spell, and have it visualized using charts. Cool. Then we just hit send and off we go. So directly what you're gonna see here is it's quite a lot of information in the beginning. We see the AI starting to come up with a plan on how it should compose the app and also orient itself, like figuring out what files it already has, how our template looks like that it's starting out from, and now it's starting to write some code and install some packages. Parallel to that, I think like the first thing to mention is we're building a mobile app, but how do you actually get like a feel for how the mobile app will look inside your phone? A good way of solving that is by downloading this app called Expo Go. So you would go to the App Store, you would download the app, and then you're able to scan this QR code here on the side. If we scan this QR code after having installed the app, then we should be able to open it inside the app.
Yeah.
Right now, at the same time, the AI is actually writing the code necessary to get the first revision. So we can see it installed some packages and so on, and we can see that it's writing here.
So like this writes the backend and the front end both.
Yeah. So actually, today on the first prompt, we're only gonna start out by writing the front end now, and then if you want to integrate backend, you would go here, connect Supabase, or you can also just mention it in the chat saying, "Hey, I would like to make sure we're storing data in the cloud, or I want the functionality to be able to track it over many times and share it across devices." And then the AI will realize, okay, I need to implement some backend functionality, and it will prompt you to connect one of the projects.
Like for me, like when I was using Lovable and then I wanted to connect, with Supabase, I had like a problem with, like dealing with it because I didn't know, okay, how to use, and then when I went to Supabase, it was like super, strange for me, like hard to navigate. And I was like, wow, like, why Lovable just, like doesn't like connect it itself, so I shouldn't do it myself. Maybe again, it's like laziness of vibe coders that they don't want to do anything. So everything should be ready for them. But kind of like, do you really need to go through the same hassle with Supabase here, or is it like a bit easier, kind of the integration part?
Yeah, so like with Supabase, there's some minimums you will need to do, like set up an account. We can walk through the whole flow right now. So I would go up here, I would press connect Supabase. We're gonna be asked to connect, and here you should already have an account, or I already have an account here. And then we just say, okay, authorize natively, and we will connect to the project. Just a second. So now we have the projects available here, and we can press connect to any of the projects or create a new project.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm running on the free plan, so I'm gonna have to delete one of my old projects because you're only allowed to have three free projects at a time.
Yeah.
So I'll delete this maps project.
I think also kind of AI has taught us how to use, the free plan very wisely now. So everyone is running on the free plan, and then
Yeah,
like
100%.
runs. Jam session, nice.
Okay, we set the password and then you create the project. So if we go in and out here, we've also seen we've got our first draft of our app.
Yeah.
Okay, we can enter exercise name here. We can enter number of sets and reps. I think the add exercise button is not functional yet, or maybe we have to type in the name. Okay,
Nice.
it added sit-ups. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have like lots of like data, so that like it will show on the charts yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say the next step for us is so you notice that I went in and out of this log and it didn't really save like the information. So we need to integrate the Supabase integration really quick, so we're keeping track of all the data that you're saving. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna click connect gym session tracker. And now we can see that this Supabase connected button has become green, and we're actually connected. So it should just be a matter of saying when I add new exercise, then we should save that inside the Supabase database.
Well, because like for me, like what happened, like when I was using like Supabase was it was asking me to create a database. So I created a project and then it was like wanted to like me create a database, and then I was confused, like, okay, what does it really mean? That was a bit confusion for me.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, so I think I'm not entirely sure on how Lovable does their Supabase integration today. But my understanding, the way it used to work is just like kind of similar. You would go up here, you would press the button, you would say, okay, integrate with Supabase, and then you would start prompting related to it. And then it would show out this row level security policies at you that, like, my feeling was always like, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to press accept. I don't really know what I'm looking at. And like I did not enjoy that experience, and that is something we've tried to like really make sure that we are solving with our integration with Supabase. And we think there's also like a lot of other really interesting backends to integrate with, not necessarily restricting ourselves to Supabase, that provide like a bit of a different flow for users, and that we think could be very helpful. Yeah. But here we can see we are now actually working towards the Supabase. So in like the AI wanted to check what tables we already had inside the project, and then it decided to create some tables. So if we go over here, we can see that we have exercises and workouts table now.
Exactly.
Kind of don't need to keep track of this. The AI will think about that itself, and it should start integrating these exercise names. Right now, I actually think we have a bug here. I think it's still writing code. We can see that this cancel button is
Working still.
yeah, exactly. So it's still working, but it's supposed to be saying like, oh, still writing a file here.
Yeah, but like this is super cool because I see that it already kind of like created itself a database in like Supabase, and this is kind of like what I mean that with Lovable it was hard because I needed to do that myself, but here kind of the like natively does it for you, so that's something really good.
Yeah, 100%. Like I found that was super annoying. Like you don't want to leave the tool. You want to give the user experience that you have to learn as little as possible. And like even with our tool, there's a lot to learn. Like if you think about it, like if I come in as a non-technical user and I start seeing like styles common styles T, what is this even? There's so many new things related to that. You can run into issues, and then you need to like it's helpful to know how to prompt in a good way. Just like adding on top of that, oh, you should also learn the Supabase user interface and so on. It's many steps. So we really want to like reduce every one of those steps as far as we can. Hopefully we're soon finishing up. We could try. So I have the same app here on phone also that I'm looking at the same time. Still writing code. Maybe we can try again and see if it's updated. If product add exercise workout maybe. Okay, we have this in history.
Worked.
Do we have anything inside the table if we would go
Let's
here?
reload maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, not
Not
yet.
yet.
Maybe it's
Not
kind
yet.
of
Oh,
like processing.
yeah.
But this is the thing that like with this like no code solutions, the vibe coder should also be passion, kind of wait and then like try to click on like different buttons. So because that was like something that for me, you have to go through all the buttons and then like just like take how the app works, because there still can be some some functions will not work, and then you just need to comment that, hey, this doesn't work, please fix it. So you really kind of need to spend some time.
But we have something really exciting coming on that front, where that might soon not be something you have to do.
Okay,
Where
wow.
we'll go and click the buttons for you and just check like, is everything implemented? Do you want to implement it? This is not working correctly maybe today, and we think that is going to be an absolute killer feature to have.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe I should walk you through like how I'm thinking. So we went into Supabase and we said like, okay, it doesn't look like it's here. So now my thinking is really, okay, let's make sure the AI also understands that. And then I want it to fix that issue so that our push-ups and sit-ups actually end up inside the database, so they are persisted across sessions. So yeah, it should continue to work on that. This is more or less the user flow. And then when we are happy or we feel like, okay, I'm a technical user, I would like to continue this, but maybe like write the code myself. Then I would press this upload to GitHub button up here. First, you will have to authenticate with tool, and then you'll get out a repository of the code. Or you say, hey, I'm really happy with how the app turned out. And then you would go up here, you would press deploy. You're gonna have to sign up for an Apple developer account. And you're also going to have to sign up for an Expo account. So if I just write in ABC, we actually don't check the passwords here. We check it in a later stage. You would go and sign up for Expo, sign up for Apple, type in your bundle name here. Gym session tracker. And then we would press deploy to test flight, and it will go off here. Obviously, now it's not going to work because I just typed in some random credentials, but then you can press here. You can see like the build process that usually takes like, I would say like the waiting time for this can be up to 30 minutes. It depends on how large your app is and so on. We actually need to build a bundle and like sign all the signatures and like do all the Apple stuff. But then you will have a first version where you are able to share with a user from test flight. You can read more about how that whole deployment guide works here. Just add other people with Apple developer accounts if you have are approved for internal testing, or you can go one more step and get approved for external testing. Then you will be able to send out a link to your friends, just like instantly try out the app. And then obviously like the step after that is taking it completely to App Store. Yeah, so I guess we need to properly configure authentication or similar here. So let's see if it can do that for us. Otherwise, we should probably have a pop-up that shows up and says like, hey, make sure you do this step also.
But also kind of like one of the exciting features about here is that if you have a bug, you can kind of report it, and then the support team can actually look at it. So that was super interesting for me.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if you have a bug, press this bug button here, and we'll get back to you super fast. I take a lot of pride in that. Sometimes you see me answering answering the support tickets too. We're usually super fast, like at least sub 5 minutes, but most of the time like sub 30 seconds.
For me, actually, it was kind of like 15, 20 seconds. So it was quite fast. But also like mine was very lazy question. Like, okay, just reload the page and then it works. I was like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. We get a ton of both, and like sometimes it's good. Like ask the easy questions. That way we can help each other, right?
Yeah.
We'll get feedback about what we need to improve about the tool because you have this easy question. It's not like blatant clear for the user. At the same time, like yeah, you get to like talk to who's behind the tool and who's actually working on it and so on. I think that's something unique that we can offer, but if you're at the scale of Lovable today, it's not really possible for them.
Just kind of like meanwhile, a question I saw on LinkedIn that you posted about your brother vibe coding something. So what's the feeling, when you're sitting with your user, he or she is like using natively, and then you just kind of see how he or she is building something magically. So what's that kind of moment feeling?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was like, obviously it's like extra fun when I was sitting there with my brother and he's like trying it out and trying to make a game. But I think like from day one since launch, we saw people like spending 8+ hours inside the tool. That was really like a really aha moment for me, where it's so cool to see that people are passionate about like trying to build things, and they are doing it inside this tool that 6 months ago I wrote the first line of code to. So yeah, it's kind of unreal in some, like, you don't really have the time to reflect on some things when you're trying to move so fast, how far you come, and it's kind of like it helps with that a bit when you actually sit there with a user and they're using your tool. It gives you a moment of like gratefulness and reflection.
Amazing. I think we are done. It
Yeah.
seems
Okay. Let's try and see.
one last time.
Uh, we have this setup
But like maybe
history,
add
but
it.
yeah, we're doing. I clearly don't go to the gym often enough.
Maybe like running.
Yeah, we can do running by try to do sets of running. But maybe we do like squats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Shows up in the history at least.
Oh wow,
We
the
have
chart
a
works
work
now.
frequency chart. Yeah.
It's a nice
Let's see
growth.
if we go here. Are we gonna have a workout?
Let's refresh a bit. My today's learning reload everything. Okay.
Of course not. Yeah, but like here is where some prompt magic comes in, and also like if you're technical, it helps even more. Like I will look into exactly why this did not happen in this case, and we will ship a hotfix.
Perfect match. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, here I would probably like write in the support or continue prompting a bit. That would be my two go-to measures.
Thank you so much, Timothy, for the demo. So this is kind of like something that, yeah, like I mentioned that, if you're even like vibe coder, like you really need to take your time, kind of be nice with the tool, but also just like kind of like really look at everything, how things work, get the database, because of course, these tools are also being developing, and then there are some like things which take a bit of more time, the database, but also sometimes there could be some silly stuff that you just need to kind of fix that. But it's still kind of, we see that the magic is super powerful. So you can build things within minutes. And of course, it will take 1 or 2 hours or even more for like with the Apple thingy, with other deployment options. But it's super easy now to build something. So that's kind of the main.
It's kind of crazy. Like we're sitting here, we're talking about like, oh, we're building an app with a backend that's supposed to connect. Like if you go back like a year and you're doing this, I think that's like just like setting up the database is like a 2-hour project in itself, right? If you go back that far, so it's really crazy to think that like this is available to everyone now, and you can just go out there and do it.
Yeah, because I remember kind of like some years ago where my friends were studying computer science, they were saying that like they need to have the project brief, product brief, then they will meet for hours, they will kind of discuss what should be next, what should be this and this and that. But now here it's just one sentence and everything is ready. So this is kind of the magical part. But on this topic of like prompting, so I was like using ChatGPT and also kind of Gemini for asking that, hey, please prepare a very good prompt, for my health tracker for natively. So do you think that is it good to use such a kind of like long prompts from Gemini or like ChatGPT, or is it kind of like natively is fine with one sentence prompt as well?
So yeah, this is interesting. I think it can really go both ways. So like the good part with having a longer prompt is that you give more context about what should be inside the app. Like you will get more features, you're gonna get more views and so on. Just like get a more complete app in one prompt. On the other hand, you're gonna wait a longer time. And it might not be what you're looking for. Yeah, it's about choosing your poison there, and this is actually like something tricky in like the whole vibe coding space. Like, should you get the result super fast and then iterate quickly on that, or do you want to like build something, go away for 15 minutes, drink a coffee, have a chat with your girlfriend, and then come back? It's two different philosophies there. I think like if you just choose to just like send a one sentence prompt in natively, you're choosing more like let's iterate more times, more often, a bit slower. Versus if you go into GPT and you can get like a 100-line prompt, you're probably gonna get a more complete app like the first time around. On the other hand, like you will have less say in how that will actually function and so on, and you will have to backtrack more if you're not happy with something.
Okay.
I think those are the two things you're weighing against each other, and it's not like one is like inherently better than the other. You have to find your way of working there.
You mentioned that so this has been kind of since January, like you guys are building natively. So let's say that like it has been 6 months. So what has been your playbook for building or shipping natively super fast? Like what are the kind of little secrets of building like natively or shipping natively?
So I actually think like one of our biggest like competitive advantages is that well we started from scratch and really just got to set the foundation. Like if you look at companies that have been inside the space for a bit longer, they usually come with a lot of technical debt, and that makes them move a bit slower compared to a newcomer. Something we did very early on, and we could only do because we were quite new, is that we doubled down on a platform called Modal on the engineering side. So we built our whole backend on Modal. We're running Modal sandboxes for containers, and actually we saw Lovable move over to Modal a couple of weeks ago. So I think we made a really good bet there, and that has allowed us to move super fast. Then, I mean, I don't think it's a secret, but like in the startup world, you you need to put in long hours. What we do there is obviously we try to have the best people, but we also give incentives. Like we say we're gonna sit together in office, building the team spirit there. We provide meals for all our employees, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like I think this has had a huge impact. Where it's just like, okay, you don't have to think about anything else, and everyone we're hiring is so into it that we kind of don't want to think about anything else, like for the time being, and we just want to ship the product as soon as possible.
And how many people are in the team now?
Yeah, so today we're 8 people in the team and 2 people on non-permanent contract. That's also been a really exciting journey. Like we raised our first round in beginning of April, more or less, and then we scaled up the team a bit after that, going from 4 people to 8 now.
And like is the fundraising round number kind of like public number?
We took in 4.5 million Swedish crowns, so that's 450,000 euros approximately, from some one investor in Denmark and the other are Sweden, Stockholm based.
Like I received lots of great feedback about the founding team. That okay, they're like a great team. So what really brought the team together? Like, did you guys knew each other before, or like what's the connecting point for all the founding teams or all these 8 people together? Maybe.
Yeah. I would say it's like if you go back and look at like my origin story, I've been a part of this organization called KTH AI Society, for which is a student association at KTH with the purpose of like developing AI and developing AI initiatives on campus and in Stockholm in general. I would say my involvement there was I used to lead the research team. And I got to meet many people who are obviously interested in the space and have good technical ability. And that's how I've met a lot of people who are involved in the company today. When it comes to my co-founders, I actually met Philip and Christopher through KTH also, not through KTH AI Society, but um, I started together with Philip and Christopher. I know for a mutual friend. He graduated a couple of years ago from KTH, and then we after we raised this round in April, we started at this there's this place called Founders House in Stockholm, where it's just a bunch of startups. It's a really like amazing place, initiated by Elis Hodzic and Bror Nordström and Mattias Miksha and some others. And I think that has been so central like for our success, because when you start out a company, you don't really like, especially if it's the first time you're doing it, there's so many things to learn. To have a hub where you can go and talk to other people who are also building and they've solved similar things to you, and you can share those experiences, that's been really good. And one of those people was Hamed, who also sat there, and he would always be sitting like in the latest stages of the night together with us, and it would be like him and us left at the office, and then it came to like, okay, we're both here, you know. He came to us one day, had a chat about what we're building, and it kind of like went off from there.
Amazing. So like moving on to the sales and marketing part, the other day I had a chat with Roman from Arcats, and he mentioned that even if you have the base product, nowadays you have to really master the distribution more, because everyone now has the base product, but everything ends up to the distribution. So what is the playbook natively to really go up and hit the crazy growth, or just kind of like be this like growth machine? So
100%. I mean, like, I think fundamentally you need to start off by making content. Like, I think people underestimate just the hurdle that is in itself, just to like post twice a day, for example. And it's not only like that the company should put a post, but like I should put up a post about the company or something related to build my own internal brand and then leverage that for the company. Our employees should do that. Putting that into a rhythm, and that's what's really gonna make everything succeed. Making connections with people inside the ecosystem, but also like continuously expanding that ecosystem you're communicating with. So I mean, like holding hackathons, but not constraining yourself to just Stockholm, but also like going to the rest of Europe, going outside of Europe in the longer term. These are the things that are gonna help the brand build. You want to establish the community very fast. Obviously, there's hacks to doing it also. Like how can you reach people like that are in Asia today or in Africa without actually having to go there? Well, one really good way is doing influencer collaborations with people inside those communities who are maybe like on the entrepreneur side, or they are on the tech side there, or they try out like vibe coding tools. Finding these, doing partnerships, bringing the market, showing that you're passionate about them being there, and we're building this together, and they get to participate in how we're building the product via, for example, like the support channel or a Discord channel. I think this is like fundamental, like the most important thing, building a consumer brand.
And like, are there some kind of great learnings from Lovable, Coursera, or other, or kind of 11 Labs or other great, success stories from the region or from Europe or like US, where you guys talk, okay, this is actually like really good marketing trick. Let's like us also like use this.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, like, I think if you look at Lovable success, Anton Osika is absolutely amazing at the marketing side. That is like their absolute core differentiator, I would say, compared to other vibe coding tools. And there's really so much to learn. If you go look at the original playbook, like how he's managed to shape, like even like people think like that's a brand that started in November all of a sudden. I mean, they've been going at it for like 2 years now. But just like shaping that story and doing that storytelling has been really impactful and helped accelerate the brand itself, like saying you're fastest growing in Europe. I think that's like one really good takeaway. But also if you look at before they did the third launch, which also is storytelling. Maybe it's not the third launch, but like what they were doing before to just grow the brand, how they did collaborations with people who were like, I know they would bring in people who sat there and showed how to use the product, who was like from extended friend groups or so on, then make content out of that, post that on their personal channels, and try to build a bit of like a momentum surrounding that, and then people join in who didn't know you, and that would just snowball in itself. Also, I think like again, huge kudos to Anton. He's been very impactful into setting like the hackathon scene in Stockholm, where I mean, now we kind of have too many hackathons. I feel like I've had to step away from that game, and that has also driven like a lot of. I mean, like if you provide value to community, for example, by helping people like get into the entrepreneurial spirit by getting them into building in a hackathon or similar, then people will really appreciate you also. So just like do good things. And I think that scales.
But yeah, one learning that I got from Lovable from Anton was that I was also kind of like part of one of their hackathon, and the amazing thing is that they provide value, of course, to kind of the attendees, but they also somehow communicate with the attendees that hey, you have to go out and like be loud about Lovable, be loud about your app and like what you're building, and also they put a prize for that so that people are actually incentivized to really make noise, and then you go out and you see, wow, everyone is building, everyone is talking about Lovable. Oh, like here's my app, here's my website, and you just get the FOMO, and it's for like FOMO is like creating this growth wheel. And this was like something that really kind of was interesting for me, that they use this PR or communication part as also as a very nice incentive for people that hey, there's a 10K prize for the amazing post, or like someone's creative social activity, whatever. So this was like something interesting because that kind of make lots of noise, and then it brings kind of more long lasting impact in so many aspects. So like we arrive in the last part where I just ask like random question and then you just answer shortly. So let's talk about Sweden, Stockholm. I think that it has been on the news for like quite a while, but now with Lovable, with kind of all the new startups, it's becoming very much more shiny in Europe. So I'm just like wondering, what's the success story behind Sweden, and how do you see the Sweden path, to kind of more great startups for the future?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, like I would say, Lovable is probably one of the biggest ones, but at the same time, I think like this whole AI wave has been extremely good for Stockholm. Like Swedes are generally very good at like catching on to trends super early. I think this is one time where we've really shown that. And if you go back to like the .com bubble, like Sweden probably wasn't known for anything back in that time, but then people realized like, oh, people are actually building some cool stuff. And now that foundation that we have from the .com bubble and the startups that emerged there, that has really like put up one staircase to have a much larger acceleration phase now. And I think that's what's leading to a lot of buzz about Stockholm. If we have companies like Legora showing up and Lovable and Tandem Health and Listen Labs and so on, that will automatically attract people to the ecosystem, but then also having like the previous track record of saying, okay, well, it's like Swedes are notoriously good at being early on the trends, and we're at start of a new trend again. That's somewhere you should focus.
Yeah. And do you feel that you have enough talent like left in Stockholm for early stage startups, or now the talent is very pricey?
I mean, I think I get this question all the time. Talent is a difficult thing. I mean, it's like there's so many places to look for talent, and it's about finding the nuggets that people haven't looked at. I would say it's about leveraging both your network and so on, and obviously there's different stages for different talent. So natively we're quite early on, and a lot of people are super excited about being a part of that early journey, and that alleviates hiring for us compared to maybe if you're a Series A company where it's like, okay, you're not really early on, like the company is already super good, but you're joining to be a part of like a good engineering culture. The way you have to structure the organization and the team and the incentives is a bit different in that case compared to our case, right? On the other hand, we might have to be a bit more restrictive on who we choose to hire because maybe not everyone is like super excited to be a part on the culture of like, yeah, we're gonna work 9 to 12 every day, and that's kind of what's needed to bring the company forward. That's the tricky balance you have to find. But I think like when it comes to talent in Stockholm, there's plenty of talent to go around. Talent is never cheap anywhere, and I think like we're seeing this now with like Meta and OpenAI. Meta acquiring all all the OpenAI researchers for, I don't know, like people are floating like $99 million sums and so on. Talent will always be expensive if you're shooting for the best in the world. Hopefully, like having a lot of demand for talent in Stockholm will also bring new talent from the outside into Stockholm, further augmenting the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's kind of like crazy, like what's happening with the talent, in the US and other places that they're like paying millions for that. Uh, my next question about Sweden, or kind of like where you guys are now, is that will you see a point where you will move to US or any other country, just because of the growth that you need, or like some other like issues or factors?
Yeah. So I think on that front, we will do what we think is like absolutely necessary to have the best company we can build. If that's moving to SF, because we think we will get a competitive advantage, we'll move to SF. But as of today, that is not something that we're like actively thinking about. Today, we're kind of heads down, just building the product, and we know the things we need to solve. And unless that outlook changes, I would say like we're quite committed to staying in Stockholm.
That's great, yeah. Because I also see kind of like lots of the Swedish founders, they stay majority of their time in Sweden. I see Anton, or kind of also there's this Legora AI, or like Lia AI was kind of previously. So my next question is that what's one thing Natively has taught you about humans?
Wow. I mean, first of all, I would say it's not one thing, but if I had to pick one thing,
Mention
I think like the primary thing that I've actually learned is just like uh, I've got an insight into like the next level of leadership and what that means, and how like when you bring on really ambitious people, that also puts extra pressure on you to like go even above and beyond on that front, right? Uh, Juggling that, like having like you want to show up as a role model to work, but at the same time you also need to make sure you're delegating and like putting up like tasks, spreading it so it's manageable, like in the long term. Finding that balance, that has been really interesting and like insightful from personal standpoint. I think it's been a fast track of personal relations, like running fast. That means, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? It's a lot higher risk because like inherently you're trying to cut down processes, and hopefully you take away like the correct parts of the process that are just like way too long without reason. But sometimes you also run the risk of taking away like the parts of the process that you shouldn't have been taking away. And figuring that out, running hiring processes, getting a read on what a person's motivations are early on, and being very upfront about what you want out of the collaboration is something like that everyone can work on. I feel like, but I've obviously had to work on that like last 6 months.
That's amazing. Let's imagine that there is a young guy who wants to start the AI startup. So what's one or two tips that you want to give them before starting the company?
Yeah, I would say like start building, and maybe even before start building is just float the idea around. Like ideas are pretty cheap. Like, and there's two perspectives to it, right? Like sometimes an idea is like kind of novel, but then people aren't executing on it, and that you should just go build it, right? But like usually most people have already thought about your idea like 10, 20 times over at least. And that's like the case for 99.9% of ideas. So you should just ask your friends about it and say like, do you think this even makes sense? You should probably ask like who target customer. Just schedule a meeting, cold DM them, write an email. This works so much better than you think. Just first name dot last name at company.com, or what their domain is, and then build it, like go from there with their feedback. I think it's like don't overthink it too much. Take 1 hour out of your evening, schedule that call. If you have the call scheduled, then it's really like you're gonna do it at least. Versus if you're just sitting there building alone, it's a bit trickier to like get the inner motivational drive to do it. That's why it's also really good to start thinking about like, okay, should I find a co-founder, and what are you looking for inside that co-founder? Is like what's important to you, and how would you want the company to look like in 6 months or in 12 months or in 5 years? How does your vision align there? Do you think this is someone you could work like every waking hour with for the next 5 years of your life at least?
Yeah, I really kind of agree with, because like for me, like personal experience was that if I have done my homework, like for example, if I had a prototype with Natively or with Lovable, and then me going to talk with a potential client or a potential co-founder, then they would click more because they see that, wow, I have done a bit of work, and they like somehow it's very impressive for them. So I think now, with all these tools, it's really good to do a bit of homework, just build it and then see how it looks, and then it's easier to kind of communicate, with your potential co-founders, potential clients, because they can see that, you can at least, visualize it, because sometimes you're describing some ideas, but do you really know how it would look like? Not really, So I think this is like something really kind of cool for this like AI era. So
100%, 100%.
yeah,
But like insight does not have to be super complicated either. Like it's not like you have to like write a research report on the topic. It could really just be like you Google for 10 minutes or ask ChatGPT and like iterate on some questions and make sure you know something about the space that you're asking about. Because even that hurdle is just like you're probably better than at least like 75% of people.
that's true. That's true. So my last question is that what do you do on the weekends?
I work right now. I don't think I've like yeah, I've had like 2 days off since I wrote the first line of code, which I'm very fortunate to be able to have that experience. I think just it stems from the fact that things are going really well, and yeah, we're gonna continue that momentum, and then worry about weekends a bit later.
That's super exciting. Thank you so much, Timothy, for doing this. It was super fun to have you here, and also, yeah, kind of, I wish you all the best with Natively, and yeah, with crazy growth on the way.
Thank you so much, Jahid. Yeah,
Thanks, man. Cheers.
real pleasure. Yeah, bye.
Bye.